Good morning, all you brave people on battling this COVID pandemic. Hope everybody is safe and happy and doing what you can to stay busy. Oh, just wanted to give you a little update on the potatoes. I dug in there yesterday and got out about 6 or 8. They were about the size of what used to be a silver dollar here. If probably most people that nowadays don't even remember what they look like. Oh, I'm 3 hens short, 3 pullets short. My niece was trying to find some chickens, and they went to this chicken farm, and he told them that, they sell, the place they went sells chickens on a regular basis. Told them they weren't going to find any chickens. They have just been sold out. Nobody really has any, unless it's these rare exotic chickens that don't really lay eggs. They're just there to make the people happy looking at them. And who wants to invest their money in feed and caring for something that's not going to give you anything back? Oh, pet I can understand, like a dog or cat or something like that. But and I had some of those exotic breeds years ago, just to have them. But now I'm not having anything just to have it. It's got to give me something back, or I don't need it. I'm too old, too worn out for that. I was younger when I was doing all the keeping it just to say, for my own enjoyment, just to watch it. I planted a couple of summer squash. I cannot pronounce the name of them. They're from Austria, I believe. I didn't buy them from Austria, but they originated in Austria. And with the pumpkins coming up in here now, I only planted like 3 plants in here. But with all these pumpkin seeds still germinating and coming up in here, I don't know which ones to pull up. I know I planted them on the outer ends of the greens bed, but as you can see, I still got sweet potatoes growing in here that I didn't get them all out when I dug sweet potatoes, and I thought, well, I'll just leave them, and if they overwinter, fine, they'll make sweet potatoes next year. It's a perennial if you live in a climate like ours. See all these pumpkins coming up here, and they've been doing that now all summer, and I've been pulling them up. I give them to the chickens, but they don't care for the plants. Now they'll eat the meat out of the pumpkin, and they're not really crazy about that, but they just will eat some of it. And I know all these new ones coming up like this is not the ones I planted. This one would be one of those. It's something like a round zucchini. And since I can't grow squash here in the spring because of the vine borers in the summer, I thought, well, I've had these seeds probably for 2 years. And I thought, well, I'll try growing them in the fall. Maybe, there's no vine borers in the fall that I've not seen a vine borer moth. I'll just put it that way. And I might have more success. I watered this yesterday, which kind of slammed all the tender young greens down, but they'll come back up. They'll stand back up. Gave these girls some black oil sunflower seeds, and you know what? I watered everything yesterday but those bunching onions right there. And I planted some clover for the chickens. I'm thinking I'll keep them all in their coop. It's got a big enough run in it that I could keep them all in there. It comes up really quick. This came up within 3 days of me planting it. I know. I thought I'll shut them all up in the coop for a couple of weeks, and I'll plant some crimson clover all back here and put the sprinkler on it, and then when it's up, in good size, turn them out and they can forage on that, because they have decimated everything green back here. There wasn't a lot, but there was a lot more than they are now. They have pretty much taken it all out. I soak alfalfa cubes now, the cubed hay, and I'll give that to them, and they will eat some of it, but they don't eat a lot of it. It's not like, eating it fresh and green. I'm pretty sure they'd like it fresh and green. You can tell I've ruined these chickens with treats because they follow me everywhere. Anyway, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. Hopefully. And I don't know if I posted a video since I put the teenagers back in a pen on their own, but I had to, because they just weren't gaining enough weight. These older chickens were keeping them running away from the feeders. Even though I had 4 feeders out here, they weren't getting enough to eat. But now they can eat their heart's content all day long, and all night if they want to. Okay, I want to give a shout out to Black Pack Homestead. This is a small channel like my own, and they have some good content on there. They're just good old, we call them good old boys, but in that case, a good old girl and a good old boy are doing their best to grow their own food and do it in nature's way, and with no chemicals and no, keeping it organic. And she suffers from Crohn's, and I have that in my family. I have a niece that suffers with it really bad. So I'm very sympathetic to her plight. And they're trying to build up their channel so it will help them monetarily, so that on her really bad days, and I know she has bad days because my niece has been in the hospital so many times with that. She's lost half her stomach. It penetrates holes in her intestines, and she's on a transfusion that she has to get every so often now to keep her immune system shut down, to keep it from attacking itself. But anyway, they're hoping to get enough monetarily from their channel that her husband will be able to stay home with her and help take care of her and take care of all the animals and everything on her bad days, which I assure you, if she has Crohn's, she has bad days. And she's trying to fight through this, I think, without all these new drugs that they've come out with, that, like my niece is doing the transfusions, because they do as much damage as they do good. And it's like, which is the worst? Well, my niece in her situation didn't have a choice. She don't weigh but a little over 100 pounds now, and she had bleeding ulcer. She was bleeding to death, where the fistulas, they call it, from the Crohn's had eaten holes in her stomach, and she was just bleeding profusely. And she had gone into hospital several times, and they had managed to stop the bleeding, and I think she's had to have surgery twice, where they just actually took out the they call it ulcers, but it's where the Crohn's had eaten holes. And so now she's on that transfusion. I can't even tell you the name of that medication, but to keep her immune system shut down. So she's keeping at home and staying away from people, because she is very susceptible to catching anything. Even a bad cold would be bad for her, So help these people out. Go check out their channel. It's called Black Pack Homestead. I'm going to try my best to put a link in it. Haven't been able to do that so far, but I've done a little research before I made this video. So maybe I'll be able to pull it off now. I'm actually making potatoes. I got about 6 or 8, and they were course, I wanted to dig up some more, you know, I wanted to have enough for a roast, but it would have totally ruined, and the plants have just huge amounts of small ones on them. So I didn't want to decimate the plants and not get what they're actually producing now that will grow out, hopefully. Anyway, I tell you what, if you can actually make flour out of acorns. You can gather up a bunch of them and roast them in the oven for on a low temperature for an hour or so. Put them in a burlap bag or something like that and crush them. Take a hammer and crush them up. Feed them to your chickens. They're very high protein, and we have a bumper crop of them this year. And everybody in the South that I know of, or in my part of the South, has had bumper crops of pecans. So this was a good year for nuts. God bless. I hope everyone's staying safe. And remember, God gave you this day. Do something good with it. Bye-bye.